5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems go with Josh Appelbaum starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 437 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. I am your host, Josh Appelbaum. What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. It's officially hump day. That means we are halfway through our work week. More importantly, guys, the countdown continues to NFL Championship Sunday. We are now just 4 days away from Patriots, Broncos, Rams, Seattle. And I have a thought on both these games, and then I also have an official best bet for you. Because as we like to do on the pod, we're trying to pick off the best numbers. I think that's a huge part of being a sports bettor. Obviously, we have our philosophies and fundamentals and things that we lean on strategy-wise, trying to respect line movement, of course, focus on split system matches, figure out what Rhythm and Juice Reel are saying in terms of the AI models and the sharp mush indicators. But another big part of that is just trying to get the best of the number. It can be very, very important because, again, when you're sitting at a 7 versus 7.5 or 7 versus 6.5 or 3.5 versus 3 or 2.5 versus 3, again, these are key numbers. These are obvious situations where a half point could be a difference. But really, again, the whole exercise of betting games early is saying to yourself, okay, I better jump on this now because it looks like it's trending in this direction. Therefore, I should play the system match now and try to get the best of the number. So I do have, again, a thought on both these games and then an official best bet, which will be the first one of Championship Sunday. Also, we're going to get right back to college basketball. I do have 3 college basketball bets for you tonight. Believe it or not, 2 of them are favorites, laying points with some sharp line moves as well as sharp mush edges and good bet splits. And then also we have a dog to fave. Although you might be able to still get a point and a half. This line's kind of been all over the place. So a 3-pack of college hoops on a big college basketball Wednesday. I think there's about 60 games overall. And then, of course, an early bet here for Championship Sunday. And also, I'll mention, be careful out there. I'm seeing a lot of reports of a huge snowstorm, ice storm. It's going to be freezing. Looks like kind of the southern part of the country might, I was looking at, I think it was Tennessee or some of these southern states might get a ton of snow. So if you're like me in New England, it's cold. We already got about a foot of snow, but we might be snowed in for the next few days and leading up to Championship Sunday. So stay, get your hard salami, your milk, your Wonder Bread, and hunker down. We can bet on some games. Now, looking back to our last night, guys, I would argue one of the more frustrating nights in recent memory. 0-3 minus 3 units, so just a strikeout, which again is never fun. But if we look at not just the end result, but kind of the process, it's annoying because on the one hand, lost Mizzou at the buzzer. Remember, Missouri was a dog to fave line move, opened about getting a point, then flipped to -1, -1.5. You saw that line movement in their favor, and Mizzou had a lead by 1 point late, and then with 6 seconds left, opposite side there, Georgia hits a bucket, and we lose at the buzzer. So annoying. Also some CLV because I was hovering around a pick 1 and it ended up closing 1.5. So that was annoying. Wake Forest, no show, getting rolled by 12 points. That was not fun either against SMU. But the coup de grace, the most frustrating play I've experienced in quite a while, was Colorado. So if you remember, Colorado does not cover the spread. They lose by 6 points. But remember, a lot of us got the plus 5.5. And did you guys see where that line closed? We talked 5.5, 5, even 4.5. That line closed with Colorado plus 4 or plus 3.5. So once again, this is the frustrating part of sports betting. If you ask me, would I rather lose in a blowout and never have a chance, or beat the closing line and be right there until the very end and lose at the very end? I don't know. Both losses are losses, but it just seems more frustrating when you do your part as a bettor and the team on the floor lets you down. But what really was annoying, aside from the public, 83% of bets on Kansas, and line went to Colorado. Blueprint played Colorado on the points. One was that there's an opportunity to cover the spread on the final free throw. Colorado was down by 6 points. If you had a 5.5 like me, all the Colorado player had to do was make the free throw. You lose by 5. They ended up not fouling. They dribbled it out. What happens? Of course, he misses the free throw. So lose by 6, lose the 5.5. So that wasn't fun. And I will admit, I don't like it when people complain about the referees, but sometimes it's warranted Because if you were watching that game like I was, Fran Fraschilla, who I think is awesome, he is just a great, I'm pretty sure it was Fran Fraschilla, but he's just an awesome analyst, and he was calling the game. And a lot of times there'll be like a bad call, and you hear the the announcer be like, "Oh yeah, tough call." Again, they applaud the refs. They get it right most of the time, which is probably true. But those refs were just incompetent. Again, you look at number one, there was a play where there was a goaltend where it was a clear goaltend, and Colorado would have gotten the points. Instead, they don't call it a goaltend. They go the other way, and Kansas scores. But the one that was really, really difficult that kind of lost the game for us, lost the cover, is that Kansas scored. I think it was maybe a minute left or something like that, maybe a minute and a half. It was toward the end of the game. But it might have even been on that no call with the goaltend. They go run across the court, score a fast break point. But then the same guy, Melvin Council Jr., I believe, after he scores a layup on a fast break, he's still out of bounds, reaches his hand, and steals the inbound and scores again. But here's the thing. When he touched the ball and stole it, he was out of bounds. He was underneath the opposing net. So not only did he steal it and score, but it was clearly that it should not have counted. Instead, the idiot refs allow it. And Fran Fraschilla went nuts, and I'm like, hell yeah, Fran Fraschilla. I don't know, he probably didn't, I'm not going to say he had, Colorado in the points with me, but he was just remarking about how you cannot miss that call. How do you miss that call? Idiot ref was right there 5 feet away, allowed it, didn't blow the whistle and say it's out of bounds. So, again, Mizzou losing at the buzzer, awful refs in a missed free throw to lose Colorado. Those were a couple rough ones last night. So, again, sometimes you make sharp bets and they lose. Sometimes you get beat by the closing line, you get lucky and you win. But it's always annoying when the refs don't call it right and screw you. So, again, that's my, my emotion getting into it. But I was so annoyed, and I'm like, hell yeah, Fran Fraschilla, hammer them, because those refs were so freaking incompetent and cost us Colorado. So, again, I'm a data guy, but I am a human. I have emotions, and that really pissed me off with the refereeing in that game. But anyway, guys, 0-3, minus 3 units. Can't get it back. Can't change it. It's already happened. So what are we going to do? We're going to claw our way back, hopefully post a winning night for tonight. So with that being said, let's dive right in. 3-pack of college, and then we will get to our championship Sunday play, which I'm excited to share with you. So first one on the board for me, I want to talk about an early game, Texas and Kentucky. One of the most heavily bet games of the night, actually happens to be the most heavily bet game of the night. And I think we got an opportunity to fade a trendy dog. So 7 o'clock Eastern time, Texas Longhorns come in 11-7. Just saw their 2-game win streak come to an end. They lost to Texas A&M 74-70, lost outright as a 4.5-point home favorite. Meanwhile, Kentucky 12-6, won 3 straight, however, and just upset Tennessee 80-78, won outright as a 5.5-point road dog. So what do we see across the market here? Well, this game opened with Kentucky listed as a 6.5-point home favorite. And the public says these teams are relatively even, and that line's a little high. Texas is going to cover. Texas may even win this game. However, even though you're getting nearly 2/3 of spread bets taking the points with Texas, which, makes them a very trendy dog, we've seen this line pretty much stay right where it's at. Minus 6.5 Kentucky open, still minus 6.5. So right off the bat, if the public's taking Texas in the points, why isn't this line down to 6 or 5.5 or 5? The fact that it stayed right where it's at, and if you actually look a little bit closer, not only has it stayed the same, which would be a sharp line freeze, public Texas, but odds makers don't want to drop that line to give out a better number to contrarian fade the trendy dog Kentucky backers, is the fact that we have Kentucky juiced up minus 6.5, minus 115. Some shops have even touched as high as minus 7 or even 7.5 at times. We've never seen this line get down to 6. So reading between the lines, public's Texas, but this line has either stayed the same or been juiced up and moved toward Kentucky. That tells me, again, sharp line freeze, smart money here, going with Kentucky. Kentucky would be a classic fade the trendy dog play, getting only about a third of tickets in the most heavily bet game of the night. So even if you take away the line freeze, sharp liability movement juiced up toward Kentucky, you're still just fading the public by betting against the trendy dog Longhorns. I really like this over at Circa. Kentucky is only getting 27% of spread bets, but 76% of spread dollars. A huge low bets, higher dollar split in their favor. So that tells me sharps out in Vegas also laying the points with Kentucky. Kentucky has some clear advantages here stat-wise, Better effective field goal percentage, 54th versus 82nd. Better defensive efficiency, 33rd versus 101st. And they limit their opponents to a better effective field goal percentage, 56th versus 96th. Lastly, saw that Rhythm did have Kentucky minus 6.8, so nothing huge, but closer to 7. And we did have a 32%, pretty big, 32% sharp mush edge in favor of the Kentucky Wildcats. So 32% more of the sharper winning players are laying it with Kentucky. So you add it all up here, guys. Most heavily bet game of the night, but we can still go contrarian and take advantage of a line freeze / RLM play with Kentucky. Again, public says go take the points. Looks to me like the market's telling you to lay the points. So I'm going Kentucky. I got a minus 6.5. I got minus 110 a little bit earlier today. Looks like minus 6.5, minus 115 might be your best opportunity. But a lot of books are creeping up towards 7. So if you're going to play it, at least try to get that 6.5 before it rises. Next one for you. Another very heavily bet 7 o'clock game. Let's talk Notre Dame visiting North Carolina. Now, Notre Dame comes in 10-8 on the year, but they're in a bit of a skid. They've dropped 4 in a row. Just lost to Vatek 89-76. Did not cover as a 6.5 point road dog. Meanwhile, UNC 14-4 on the year, ranked 22nd. However, they have lost 3 of their last 4 and just came up short against Cal 84-78. They were favored by 6.5 on the road, lost outright. So what have we seen across the market here? Well, this game opened North Carolina, listed as a 11.5 point home favorite. And I hope that you guys either sign up to get the All Systems Go Best Bet Picks from Juice Reel or read the Sharp Report, because I was talking about how the early move was toward North Carolina, minus 11.5 up to minus 12.5. And at the time, not only did you see the line tick up toward UNC, but UNC was really juiced minus 12.5, minus 115, minus 120. Guys, I am now seeing UNC up to minus 13.5. Some shops even minus 14. So if you jumped on that 12.5 like I did earlier, you are loving the fact that we've seen this line tick up now to 13.5. Again, a lot of books are, I don't even think you get a 13 anymore. You might be able to find a 13 at Caesars, but it's mostly 13.5s, some even 14s. But again, the 13.5s are juiced up minus 115, minus 120, like we may close at 14. So I laid the points with UNC. Line move in their favor. Nothing in terms of buyback on Notre Dame. The splits look pretty good on UNC. 69% bets, 83% dollars at DK. At Circa, 64% bets, 92% dollars. So again, I know it's a big number, but we are low bets, higher dollars. Line move toward UNC. Now, we do have UNC with the better offensive efficiency, 33rd versus 103rd. Better defensive efficiency, 51st versus 60th. Better effective field goal percentage, 49th versus 110th. Better offensive rebound percentage, 72nd versus 105th. And they take better care of the ball. Tar Heels rank 45th in fewest turnover percentage versus 250th for the Irish. They turn it over quite a bit. Rhythm does have UNC favored by 14. That's another thing. When I put in UNC minus 12.5 earlier today, it was low bets, higher dollars line move, and Rhythm was 14. Still at 14. So again, if you missed it, 13.5 looks to be your best number. North Carolina, by the way, a perfect 11-0 at home. Notre Dame 2-3 on the road. And you do have an 8% sharp mush edge on North Carolina. So hopefully this is a blowout win, 20 points. North Carolina wins 80-60. But I am laying it with UNC. Again, I hope you got the 12.5. 13.5 now is your best price. You can look at it one of two ways. One, you got to pay a bigger premium here, lay a bigger number. But why are you now laying a 13.5 versus 12.5? Because it tells me smart money continues to pour in on North Carolina. So North Carolina laying it. UNC 12.5. I might be laying 13.5 now. Last bet of the night. 11 o'clock Eastern time. Staying up late to sweat this one. San Diego State and Grand Canyon. 11 o'clock game here tonight. We got San Diego State 13-4 on the year. They've won 7 straight. Just held off New Mexico 83-79. Didn't cover, though, as a 5-point home favorite. Meanwhile, Grand Canyon, can anyone name me their mascot? The Lopes, the Antelopes. They're 11-6. They've won 3 of their last 4, and they just beat Utah State 84-74, won outright, pulled off the upset as a 5.5-point road dog. So, what have we seen across the market here? Well, this game opened with San Diego State listed as a 1.5-point road favorite, and public says San Diego State all day. Again, they've been in a lot of NCAA tournaments, kind of a trendy team, but public remembers that. Grand Canyon, tiny little little school, although they've made the tournament last couple of years. But anyway, around 2/3 of bets are going San Diego State. However, we've seen this line basically go dog to fave toward Grand Canyon. And again, this line's all over the place because a lot of shops are now Grand Canyon -1. Some shops are Grand Canyon -1.5. I did jump on Grand Canyon +1.5 at -118. That is available at BetMGM, so always shop around. And I was thinking to myself, okay, do I just get a better money line price and just lay it to win, or do I pay a little more juice to get the 1.5? I figured I might as well just pay a little more juice, get the 1.5, off chance they lose by 1. But either way, we have mostly a dog to fave line move toward Grand Canyon, even though the public is hammering the Aztecs. Grand Canyon is one of the top bet against the public plays. This is a heavily bet Fox Sports 1 game, last game of the night, and public's all over Aztecs, so I want to go Lopes. Also at Circa, 33% bets, 69% dollars on Grand Canyon. So good low bets, higher dollar split, again, from the sharps out in Vegas. Grand Canyon does have the better offensive rebound percentage, 113th versus 187th. Better free throw shooting, 49th versus 121st. Better offensive rebound percentage allowed. Basically, they don't allow nearly as many offensive boards as the Aztecs. They rank 29th versus 182nd for San Diego State. So again, late night game, heavily bet, public San Diego State, but we got dog to fave toward Grand Canyon. So again, you have some options here. If you want to go money line, it's a very short, like -110, win the game. But I did pay a little more. I figured, hey, BetMGM's giving me the +1.5, -118, so I did take the 1.5, -118. But to make everyone happy, how about you win the damn game, Grand Canyon? Well, let's go Grand Canyon. Let's go Lopes. Win the game. That'll be nice for everybody. So Grand Canyon, Kentucky laying it, UNC laying it. Let's try to get 2 out of 3. Now, the drama is about to descend upon us because we are in the Final Four with the winners of each conference going to the Super Bowl, of course. And I got an overarching thought for you for both these games, and I have an official best bet. Because one, I think we should jump on now. The other one, I want to wait and see if it moves. My first thought overall, just an overarching thought, is that we have 2 insane contrarian opportunities for these games. New England at Denver. Right now, the Patriots at DraftKings, 77% of spread bets, hovering around -5.5, -5, -4.5. Rams, Seahawks, 84% of spread bets at DraftKings, laying it with Seattle, -2.5. So, again, before we even talk splits, or I guess we just talk half the splits, the bets, but before we even talk line movement, system matches, historical spots, all that kind of stuff, the weather, yada, yada, yada. If you're a contrarian like me, you like to bet against the public, you have 2 obvious plays here, which would be Broncos plus the points and Rams plus the points. Now, I'm going to tell you my first official bet, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm going to wait on the other game. My first official bet, just to prove to you that I do not always bet my favorite teams just because they're my favorite teams. When they're sharp, I do, because remember, New England, we laid the 3. They were -2.5 up to 3, 3.5. You had a lot of sharp angles there to go Pats against the Texans, and they won and covered. But as a sports bettor, sometimes you bet against your favorite team, sometimes you bet on them, but it all depends on the situation. And believe it or not here, guys, even though I'm a Pats fan, I hope they win the game, but I hope they win by 4 or less because I'm going Denver +5.5. I'll tell you why. Number 1, this is an unbelievable contrarian play. We just talked about this a second ago, but the Broncos are only getting 23% of spread bets. No one wants to bet Denver. Big reason is Bo Nix got hurt. Jared Stidham is a starting quarterback. So just from the standpoint of extreme, again, these are the 2, other than the Super Bowl, these are going to be the 2 most heavily bet games of the year. And when you have a huge postseason game, I liken this a little bit. It's not really sharp in terms of the line move. We'll see how it goes between now and Sunday. But you're kind of looking at this Denver plus the points similar to Miami plus the points against Indiana on the championship game the other night. Heavily bet, prime time. Everybody and their mother's playing the Team A. We want to go Team B. So from a contrarian angle, there's no way I'm going Patriots, laying it on the road, getting 77% of bets. I love Denver in this spot, 23% of spread bets. That's the first thing. Contrarian opportunity, Hall of Fame opportunity to bet against the public with Denver. Second angle for me is that if you look over at Circa, only 25% of spread bets are on Denver, very contrarian, but 59% of spread dollars are on Denver. So again, DraftKings, it's everybody on New England, go contrarian against the public. Low bets, higher dollars, sharp split at Circa out in Vegas on Denver. That's the second angle, telling me Denver is the play. Third angle, the line is coming back, believe it or not, toward Denver. A lot of these books opened, opener was kind of all over the place. I saw some open -4.5, get up to 5.5 for New England. I saw one book even open at 6, get down to 5.5, now 4.5, 5 New England. But either way, there aren't many 5.5s left. A lot of these books are getting down to 5 or 4.5. So it's not like this line is going up to 6 or 7. No, it's starting to creep back down toward Denver, which is very important because public is all over New England. So we got super contrarian, low bets, higher dollars at Circa. We got line moving back toward the contrarian side. We also have some good rhythm edges. Rhythm, 3 recommended plays, Denver plus 3.6, Denver plus 2.7, Denver Green Star plus 3.8. So Denver, basically a field goal, 3.5, 4-point game. We can get a 5.5. That's my other angle. You got to get the best of the number. I'm looking across the market right now, and right now I only see 2 books giving you plus 5.5, FanDuel and DraftKings. FanDuel is plus 5.5, minus 118. DraftKings is plus 5.5 Denver, minus 115. I jumped on the plus 5.5, minus 115 at DraftKings. And again, part of this bet is trying to beat the closing line. Like, I would like nothing more than all of us to get the 5.5 and then give it a couple days. There's no more 5.5s. The hooks are all gone. That'll be a good sign. I also like the fact that Circa is down to 4.5. Circa is a very, very sharp book. Like, if Circa was at 6, that would make me be a little bit weary of Denver. But the fact that Circa caters to wise guys is down to 4.5, they're telling you, we're not giving you 5.5 with Denver. That's too much. So a little bit of an edge off of Circa. Next, we have the ultimate just buy on bad news, sell on good news. When I was new into sports betting and I started to learn about contrarian betting, when I got my first job at Sports Insights, it kind of changed everything I look at in terms of sports betting. And, it always used to be like ride the hot hand. Then it's like sell high on a hot hand. Bad news, you want to fade a team with bad news? No, you want to buy on bad news because they're probably undervalued. So with Bo Nix getting hurt and Stidham, starting, everyone's saying Pats are going to blow them out. We want to go the other way, extract some value to go the other way, and sell high on New England and buy low on Denver. Drake May's first road game in the postseason. Again, he had a bunch of turnovers in both games. Drove me nuts here. But that's a tough spot, especially going to Mile High with the altitude. And if we look at our friends at Juice Reel, a 12% sharp mush edge on Denver. So you might have, and here's the other one, playoff dogs since 2017, 47 and 26 ATS, 64%, 25% ROI. Home playoff dogs, Denver spot here. 3-1 ATS this year, 12-3 ATS, 80%, 56% ROI since 2017. So again, I may have had you at 23%, which, end the breakdown there. We're taking the 23% contrarian play in a heavily bet game. But I think we also have other reasons to buy low on Denver. And hopefully getting the 5.5 right now will beat the closing line. Because a lot of these books, again, are getting down to 5 or 4.5. So my first bet, once again, I am a Patriots fan. I was joking with my dad the other day. He's like, Pats are going to kill him. He doesn't really understand betting. But I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go Denver 5.5. And he's like, okay, well, Pats win by 3 or 4. Everyone's happy. And I'm like, okay, Dad. Yeah, fingers crossed. So, yeah, I want Patriots to advance. But I got to stay true to the model and all these sharp angles. I'm going Denver plus 5.5. Now, I told you I'm going to wait on Rams Seattle. Guys, I got to go Rams here. Rams are only getting 16% of spread bets. So they're even more contrarian than the Patriots. But Rams would be a divisional dog. Rams would be a primetime dog, 60%, or actually primetime is defined for me in the playoffs as 4 p.m. or later, 49 and 33 ATS, 60% since 2017. And also, this looks super sharp because, let me ask you guys this. Why isn't Seattle up to -3? A lot of books were -3 down to 2.5. A lot of books were -2.5, still -2.5. The fact that you look at every book right now and these odds makers are getting hammered with Seattle money. Why aren't we up to 3.5, 4? Line's staying right where they're at, and it looks like the books don't want to give out a key number of 3 to the Rams. So I'm going to wait on this because I'm going to wait for Rams plus 3. But we have a divisional dog, primetime dog, super contrarian, sharp line freeze. Again, everyone playing Seattle, but and I know Charbonnet just got hurt too. They're good backup running back. But everyone playing Seattle, and yet the line really hasn't moved, or it even maybe has moved down toward the Rams. So I'm going to hold out for the 3. Again, you want to tease Rams up 2.5 to 8.5. Don't mind that at all. Long teaser. But I'll hold out for the 3. And I'm already committed here on Denver plus 5.5. So a little bit of AFC NFC Championship talk for you on today's podcast. So that about does it for episode 437 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. This is the part of the pod where we wrap things up, and always start first by saying thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for grinding in the arena with me every day through the ups and downs, the good days, the bad days, the hot streaks, the cold streaks. It means so much to me that win, lose, or draw, we approach the market with clear eyes and make sharp data-driven plays with our head and not our heart. If you do enjoy the pod and you'd like to help me grow and promote this podcast, please, would you give it a 5-star review on Spotify or iTunes or any other platform that you listen to it on? If you want to leave a nice recommendation or a review, click the follow button, retweet the pod when I put it out on Twitter every afternoon, or recommend the pod to a friend. That would also be very much appreciated. Next, if you enjoy this style of betting breakdown, data-driven, sharp contrarian betting, focusing on splits, line moves, system matches, trying to take a contrarian approach. If this style of betting has appealed to you, it's provided you a blueprint, or maybe you have someone who could use some data-driven tips, then guess what? I'd love for you to go to Amazon.com, type in the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook or the Everything Guide to Sports Betting, 2 books that I've written, very proud of both. But if you want to grab one or both of them, bring them to the sports book. I'll sign them for you, buy you a beer or ginger ale, and we'll sweat some games together. Next, have you downloaded Juice Reel and Rhythm yet? My 2 favorite sports betting apps, Rhythm for their AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props. Juice Reel, so many great features. Big one there is you can get the All Systems Go Best Bet Picks exclusively on Juice Reel. So you would have gotten UNC minus 12.5 earlier. Now they're 13.5. I also look at it as a tip jar. You enjoy the pod, you go out to dinner, server takes care of you, give them a tip. I would love a tip in the form of a $5 bill. Just drop it right there in the Juice Reel app and get those ASG Best Bet Picks. You're also going to get the Sharp Mush indicators, arbitrage plays, shop for the best line futures, all available when you download Juice Reel. So download Rhythm, download Juice Reel, give them a 5-star review in the App Store. Next, do you have a live odds page? Well, if you don't, you need one. It's so important to be a data-driven bettor. You need to be able to track the market. What are all the games I can bet on today? What are the sports in the start times available to me? I need live scoring when the game gets going. I need live in-game wagering odds if I want to make a live line bet. I got to be able to see the opening column that never changes and all the current odds to the right across the different books. I got to be able to identify steam when the lines get lit up in red. I got to be able to shop for the best line, find the best number, like finding Denver 5.5 when other books are at 4.5. You can do all of this with Odds Logic. So I'd love for you guys to download or just sign up. Go to oddslogic.com/Josh123. Make sure it's oddslogic.com/Josh123 because that special link will give you a 7-day free trial and 50% off your first month of service. Next to last, Novig. Have you guys downloaded the Novig app yet? Well, Novig is a sports betting exchange. It's not a sports book. So the whole point there is you're getting better juice prices. So instead of laying minus 115, minus 120, you are laying minus 105, plus 102, minus 106, plus 103. Means you can win at the same rate you would at DraftKings or FanDuel, but make more money because you're risking less juice. So go download Novig, and while you're at it, in the promo field, put in Josh123. It'll tack on an extra $25 for you. So that about does it, everybody, on a big Wednesday. As always, whether I see you at the Borgata in Atlantic City, Twin River in Rhode Island, the Brook in New Hampshire, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun down in my neck of the woods in Connecticut, or at the Encore in Boston, Plainridge Park Casino, MGM Springfield, the Nash, where I'm at on the border of Nashua, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, or out in the desert where the true grinders get down, where Billy Walter sends his number runners, where the lowest juice possible is found at the South Point, or Sweat and Sharp Contrarian plays. Jumping in the stadium swim pool when you cash a big ticket at Circa. You're going to walk up to me. You're going to show me Colorado, Mizzou, and Wake, and we're going to rip them up and just recycle them throw it in the recycling. I hope you guys do this. You have a recycling can and a trash can right next to each other. If it's an obvious thing to recycle, just drop it in the recycling. Well, again, it doesn't, no sweat off my back. But man, I can't get over Colorado. A 1-2 stinks, but an 0-3, you just hate it. And to get screwed by the refs like that is super annoying. But anyway, guys, sometimes that happens. Coming off an 0-3 night or a 3-0, a 2-1 or a 1-2, a hot streak, a cold streak, a great night, a terrible night. We just got to stick with it. Next bet mentality, even keeled, not too high or too low, and just play the system matches. Find the games that fit our model against the public, with the house, with the pros, flat bet, avoid parlays and get that CLV. If we can do that, we're going to be successful sports bettors. So have a great Wednesday night, everybody. We'll be right back at it tomorrow for a big Thirsty Thursday edition. That'll be episode 438 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. Good luck, everybody, and have a great Wednesday night.